Hi guys, it's Michelle again with Angel Souls, and this is your angel board reading for the week beginning March 6th, 2017. I had a little bit more time this week, so I was able to go ahead and do this one as well. As always, a lot of you know the equipment that I use is a GoPro. They do not have a flip screen on the camera. It's one of the downfalls of using this. There's supposed to be an app that shows me the shot. It never works. It is not working now. So once again, I just have to kind of let you know ahead of time. I can't really see the shot. I don't know what you're looking at right now, which is terrible. But anyway, let me just lay this out for you in case you can't see it that well, if it happens to be out of frame or whatever. So here at the bottom, this sector is called soul. Then we have body. We have love here at the top. And then we have path. Okay. Now, I am going to go ahead and roll these. And as a reminder, this is, these are wood blocks on wood. Okay, so yes, I guess I should have warned you before I even did that. If you have headphones on, you might want to take them off. It could get a little loud. All right, so let's just focus on the week of March 6th and see what else is coming through for us. All right. Well, the first angel and the first cube that jumps right out at me is this Haniel one, right here, almost in the center. Now, it's kind of more in favor of the body sector and the soul. And if you remember from the card reading, if you haven't watched the card reading, I highly recommend that you go back and look at that as well. We did have a lot of cards about balance, okay? Balancing the lower chakras with the higher chakras. That's Archangel Sandalphon territory, okay? But also here, Haniel, she's all about introspection, phases of the moon, joy. She's known as the Archangel of Joy. She's also the Archangel associated with the Divine Feminine. Okay. Now, it's interesting. So here's a message for some of you. Haniel is sort of, at least from my perspective right here, she's sort of in the, kind of pointing towards the body sector here. So if some of you are having to balance hormones, I know that seems a little like what the heck are we talking about? But seriously, like, when our bodies are out of whack and the hormones are out of whack, it's going to make you act in a very strange way sometimes. You know what I mean? And you might not be at your happiest. Or this could also mean not having your joy because of something physiological, like, having depression or some sort of disorder or something that comes from an imbalance, right? So Haniel here is this, in this particular reading, in case you're wondering what I have here, this is, what is this? A Labradorite wand here, okay? Because it's so close to the center, this almost feels like the heart, at least, in the context of this reading for this week. And Haniel is very close to the heart space here. And so finding joy by tapping into who you really are, tapping into your heart space. What is it that you truly, truly, truly want? Not what a conditioned society or conditioned world tells you should want, but what is true and actual for you. All right. Now, what pops out to me next here is this Gabriel cube right here, right in between love and path. Now, Gabriel helps, excuse me, helps with communication, helps with your, and everybody has a different take on this, but me personally, I feel like Gabriel really sort of helps touch my throat chakra, which might be why I've had a cough for a few weeks now. I might be adjusting how I communicate and the things that I'm less fearful to bring forward. And there could be more coming through me as a messenger. But Gabriel also helps with the sacral chakra. Okay, so your emotional body. Yes, it's your heart chakra as well. You feel things through your heart, but the sacral chakra is your creativity. What are you going to create in your world? This is almost even like intimacy too. Like, can you face certain things about yourself? And does that keep you from, why am I stuttering all of a sudden? Look at this, guys. Okay, let's point this out. Like, the energy is very high today. It was very high during the card reading. It's very high right now. I'm having a hard time with my throat chakra. I keep coughing. The letters are actually sort of, excuse me, getting caught in my throat. Interesting, right? All right. So, I guess I personally should look at that, but like, in case you're kind of experiencing anything like that too, if you have a moment where it's like your stomach always hurts, well, If it's the upper portion of your abdomen, that could be your, not your solar plexus, your solar plexus. Or if the lower part of your abdominal area is hurting, that could be your sacral chakra. These are all things that we need to pay attention to when they come up. But Gabriel, this came up and it felt like nurturance, okay? Nurturing, healing the emotional body, getting back in touch with your co-creative abilities, and opening the creativity within you. Now, I was talking, my dad used to be quite the artist, and I was just telling a friend about this. And recently I spoke to him and I asked him, why don't you do this anymore? And he said, I lost my muse years ago. And I could relate because I kind of lost my passion for my book. I ran into a lot of obstacles with it. Some not very trustworthy people came forward and they were a part of it. And, so I understood what it felt like to lose the muse, so to speak. But having this knowledge and knowing that I can call on Gabriel, I asked for guidance. And then I ended up, I started painting. I started doing some other creative pursuits. And oddly enough, just in an hour of doing something different, just something creative. It doesn't even have to be good. It doesn't have to be complicated. You just go off and do something else that feels meditative. In just 1 hour of me painting, I started to feel the creative ideas for my book starting to come up again, okay? So Gabriel, again, can come forward and help you kind of understand yourself better, your emotions better, help you heal, help you to tell yourself the truth, okay? And for you to feel very, very nurtured and loved. Yes, and you might feel the love this week too, because Gabriel's kind of facing that way, facing that sector, but also really understanding your path. Okay, again, by tuning into your emotional body and what is it that you really want. What kind of existence do you want to manifest on your path? Remember, we all have a soul contract. And the way the messages have come through me is that we have high points on our soul contract, but how you get there is a wild card. That's the co-creative ability. First and foremost, you're here to emulate Creator by co-creating your own little microcosm. Okay, so there's a big exercise in that too. So finding out what you truly love, giving yourself the love, nurturing yourself, and getting on a path that is true to your heart and your heart's desire. Okay, then we have purpose here. So we have purpose, and it's right kind of in between soul and path. What is your soul's purpose? What is your path? It goes right in with this whole Gabriel thing and speaking the truth to yourself. Some of us, and I've done this in the past too, where we're not acknowledging the need for change. We're not acknowledging that what we do is not really making us happy or making us feel healthy or, whatever the case may be. But we do it because we think, well, I owe it to somebody else to do this. Or, if I wanted to go down that path, how would I ever make a living? How would I ever take care of myself? Or, or would I be any good? There's that self-doubt going on there too. But this is you reconciling this. This is a big week, like we said before, again, with the card reading. It's a big week of getting in touch with your soul and your soul's purpose, yes, and your true path. And you can only get to that understanding by understanding your true self. Okay, now we have soul in the soul sector, okay? They're beating us over the head with this message this week, guys, okay? So it's definitely a time to be getting in touch with your soul. Balance it out with your body and your soul. Take a different take on love too, because there's a lot of that coming through where, how many of you, if you're single, let's say, and you just never played the game like everybody else did, and, the kind of love that everybody else was like, oh, I'm going to settle down for this love, and they seem perfectly content. Maybe that was never good enough for you. It didn't feel fulfilling enough, right? This is where you're really going, okay, but, looking at that and going, okay, but what was I looking for? And what is love? You know what I mean? Is love being wealthy, and, my love partner would be wealthy and good looking and, very important, and they could pull strings for me and get me. This sounds like a great person to date, right? Like, I don't mind a few favors coming my way, but I'm just saying, in all seriousness though, this is a week where you're really looking at maybe even your love choices. If you're in a love partnership, how did I get here? It's not necessarily like looking at your partnership or looking at love and saying, I want out of this. But really, like, what does this do to my heart? Remember, there's this whole concentration right here. What is the joy in your heart? And maybe you reignite love Okay, but we really have to, there's this whole big message here that we have to look again at love and what it means. Okay, it's not to overanalyze it, but often, you know, we equate love to how much time and attention someone gives us. Okay, and yes, that's important, but you know, if you're somebody who needs constant validation, well, you're not being very loving to your partner because you're draining them. You're not finding your own happiness. You're not finding your own way. You're holding your partner accountable for how you feel, right? And knowing that love can come in many different forms. You know, flowing love to a perfect stranger who might be standing there screaming at somebody. But they need love. They need a lot of love if they're in that place. Okay. What else, guys? What else do you want us to know about this? Joy, happiness, nurturance. This is also Mother Mary kind of energy over here with Gabriel. Gabriel is very attached to Mother Mary. They're saying guidance and clarity coming to you as well, about purpose and about your soul. But don't be hung up on analyzing it, okay? See, that's another very human convention. Everything has to make sense. Everything has to fit into a neat little box. And I'll tell you what, through all these experiences I've gone through, the one thing I have learned is that, you know, again, like I said before, it's not going to be perfect, okay? Life is messy. Life is messy. Events are going to keep turning. They're going to keep happening. So are we going to get hung up in the event itself? Or are we going to go, I'll handle that. I'll handle it, but let me get back into feeling good about myself. Okay? Let me get back into taking care of me and feeding love and throwing there. Well, there's that word feeding, right? But, you know, giving love out to other people. Okay? Yeah, and I'm hearing self-balance as well. Excuse me. A lot of self-balance. And go ahead, guys. This could be kind of a mind-blowing week, I'm telling you. A mind-blowing week where the illusion is falling away, people. It's just cracking and falling away. And what you see that's left is something you will remember that might cause awe and just inspire awe within you. And again, it's not something that you're learning. It's something that you're remembering. So for each person, it's going to be different, but definitely work with Haniel and Gabriel, and Sandalphon came up in the other reading. If you need clarity of purpose, by all means, you can work with Archangel Michael as well. But focus on that heart and soul, guys. Balance that with your body. Get yourselves back into an equilibrium and keep on going with letting your light keep creeping out even more and even more and even more, cracking away the illusion. All right? So there it is. Hope that was helpful. And of course, I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Bye-bye.